put that there, and you
Okay.
can just wax lyrically whatever you want. I'm going to put these new.
Okay. Am I on camera at the moment?
You are, yes.
Okay. So this afternoon, I've come into this cobblers which I've been using, I suspect, for over 20 years.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that because you used to come and have around close.
Yep. And I've also played a fair amount of rugby and coached even more rugby, traveling around the world from South Africa to South America to completely smash myself up in Romania, playing against Romania 100 years ago. Anyway, so shoes are pretty important. Feet even more important because I feel it's quite an honor to do this. It's the first time I've done this sort of filming, and one of the things that I've come in to my wonderful cobblers today is to try and sort out footwear. Now, here we have one example of a pair of shoes, boots, that I can wear all the time. However, I could not go to my granddaughter's christening in these boots. And what I'm hoping to do is that my wonderful cobblers will create something out of my rather special shoes. And here we have some of my shoes. Part of the deal today was to take the shoes off someone else and show you how you go about cleaning them. And there's a pair of Lokes shoes, boots I see in front of me that I'm soon going to have in my possession. And you see, I put these shoes on and they're fine, but they're not as soft to stand on as the boots.
They never will be because of the material.
Okay, they never will be. So what we've got to do
is stretch them in the appropriate burning places.
Yep. And so got a plan. These shoes have a history to them. I was given some money by a beloved mother-in-law to buy a pair of handmade shoes. So I went to Mr. John Lobb in St. James's, and these were created as well as they could. And they're fine, but they're not as comfortable as these other boots. So we're now moving into the realms of trying to find a way of them being more cozy. And while I do this, I want a shoe, please. Can I have one of your shoes off your feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Now, the cloth. And I've got lots of gear being brought. Now, sapphire.
Well, I used to call it sapphire as well, but it's not got an E at the end, so it's called Saphir.
Saphir. Okay, Saphir. It's French. It's from Paris. This is now getting more interesting. So the camera can maybe see this. If you can't, it doesn't. I haven't come across this Admiral gloss, but I'm going to just have a look, see what color it is. Yeah, it's sort of bluey. Yep, and I have friends who use, oh, you're changing your shoes. Put a different pair on. So I take the polish and I'm going to slowly go round in circles, and I'm going to just give this pair of shoes, this shoe, and I'm only going to do one, and I'm particularly interested in the front of the shoe. And people say, oh, it's a bore clean shoes. I love it. I get a real good cover on the shoe. And then watching television, making sure I don't spill any of the polish anywhere, I start going round in tiny little circles. The shoe is clean. The shoe would get away with going out fairly push. I would do a little bit here just because I want to do that, get that finished off. And I'm quite interested to see how this shoe looks. And it's a good cloth. I've been given a good cloth. Some people use the shoe bags. Have you got those shoe bags that I brought my shoes in? Yeah, because I have brought a pair of shoes, boots, that I've had for a long time. They're mega uncomfortable, but they're an example of what you can have. Can I just have one of them? Right. Now we're getting into serious shoe territory.
I'm glad to see you're doing work for
And yes, and now we have a friend of mine coming in, former police officer. He used to be.
You'll be good at shining shoes.
As a terrific guy come in, serious. Are you going to wait, Laurie? I've got a friend here, Laurie Stewart, who he's probably pretty. I'm being filmed by this wonderful cobbler, showing you how to polish shoes and
Exchanging tips and hints and tips.
Oh, well, I used to do the old rolling of the toe caps.
On that occasion, you're going to have to be in that seat.
so we might get Laurie in on this as well. So this is some George boots, which I've used, but they're pretty good. They're okay. They need a bit more love and attention, and we can work on that. However, the tree shoes are really important. The friend who has just come in and been rude about me, saying that I talk too much. Yeah.
But you've known that for a long time, then.
Yeah. The key is that you've got to occasionally say something when you talk. Like, thank you for the effort you've gone into trying to get these inner soles. Yeah, we're getting there. Facility that you can get from this cobbler's. Oh, wow. Look at that as a shoehorn. Most shoehorns are about that long. And I've got my foot into one of my boots, and for the first time, these orthotic boots have feel as if I can wear them, maybe. I have no possibility of being able to run again ever in my life. With a spinal stenosis, it means probably wheelchair eventually. So the later that happens, the better. I think you've got to find an operation like this for your shoes. I'm going to put my other boot on, and I'm really delighted that I'm going to go back. Oh, that's not so good. Anyway, but I know a cobbler that can repair it almost instantly. I brought it earlier, and you've got such a wonderful engineer here. So I have a couple of watches. I have this watch, which is pretty cool. It's called a Reverso.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. And you come to the cobblers with that piece missing. And rather than going to someone I don't trust with my Omega watch, I ask
Ben.
to repair it. Thank you.
That's no problem. That was easy enough to do.
What a star. And that cost, how much is that going to cost me, please?
Well, it was actually, we had to manufacture that pin ourselves. So
Yeah.
price-wise, you're probably looking at about £10 for that.
£10. And I brought it in a few days ago, and I'm now wearing a pair of boots that I think are going to be okay. This is the shoe that I want to look mega good. Thank you so much for my
That's
watch.
quite all right.
Right. I'm now going in circles to get enough polish to do the toe cap. and I'm going in little circles. Laurie talked about bulling your shoes. Theory about shoes and the shoes that people wear. It tells an enormous amount about them. I'm now going around in circles. I'm looking at Ben's shoes, and he has got a lovely pair of brogues on. Even to the way in which people do their laces. You see, I don't think these laces on these boots have been done correctly. I must have done that because I was in a hurry. Because the way these have been done is the correct way, in my opinion. But does it really matter?
No,
Kenny and Ben have been working here how long?
Ben's been working here 10 years,
And you've run it for how long?
1989,
Okay, that's real skill.
31 years.
To keep in business. This Cobblers is Kenny is leading the market in the small family business that he can actually keep a loyal member of staff for a decade. And
I've tried tracking him 3 times, he won't go away.
I can't get rid of me. Keeps trying.
and the fact that they can have this sort of glib, and he could be right. I mean, there'll be times when all of us get it completely wrong. And I look at people's feet and it tells me an enormous amount about them, especially the heels. If I'm being really ridiculously, pathetically sort of interested. This is a new polish to me. Not come across this sort of polish.
It's a harder polish.
So that Admiral.
Yeah, Admiral
Okay.
Gloss
Admiral Gloss, which is made
by Sophia.
by Sophia. Yeah. Hey, thanks for these inner soles. They're okay. They really are okay.
Now, the one thing you don't know about insoles is that you can actually, they come with metatarsal and arch supports. They're velcroed on. So if you feel that's not supporting you enough, you put on a higher instep or metatarsal. And if you feel it's too high, you put on a lighter arch or metatarsal.
I hope this is coming out on film because this is really important for a person that has hobbled around Britain for the last, I suppose, 5, 8, 10 years as a result of, I suspect, the running and the rugby, but also the radiotherapy. Lots of R's there: radiotherapy, rugby, running, the issue is that you don't let it stop you doing anything anywhere in the world. So I'm using this harder polish, which I'm not sure about. I'm coming to the end of my time here because I've done half an hour. I'm not sure about this hard polish.
So put the brush on it next, and then
You see, I don't brush the shoes. I never ever don't
you can
brush.
use nylon then.
No, should I use nylon? Nylon, ladies' tights.
Ladies' tights.
You can use men's soft underwear. They're underpants, bits of underpants. But I tend to use these, the bags. They're really soft. These are a pair of RM Williams I've got somewhere that aren't, again, because of the soles. I'll use the brush because I've been advised to by the. You see, I think that's too rough on it. Don't worry, I'm not going to do that. And I go back to the cloth and I'm just gently caressing. So let's try a piece of your nylons. Yeah, they're a bit like deep vein thrombosis socks that you wear on long flights. Yeah, that's good. That's a good piece of material. That is a really, really good piece of material. That's working. That is definitely working. I'm doing this gently. I'm wanting to finish this off. And basically, you're sitting in front of the TV or you're talking to some friends. Well done. So I'm about to leave Kenny and Ben, and lots of offers, and I need to think about. That's got better. That's got better. So I'm going to take away all my shoes, and I'm going to wear.
What we're going to do
These-
is get you on that shoe stand first, the shoe shine stand, so I can give you a shoe shine. I'll just take 10 minutes.
No. Why am I not going to do that? If we're still on camera, I like the idea of turning the whole thing round. For 5 minutes, I'm going to shine Kenny's shoes on the shoe stand.
Okay.
There's a great line in the film Chariots of Fire about peeling a potato, and you can peel a potato to perfection. And I quite like the concept of cleaning a pair of shoes, especially of a pair of shoes in Kenny's emporium, because we've got to make this Cobblers world renowned for rejuvenating, reinvigorating shoes, old shoes.
A traditional shoe repairer, a traditional cobbler with a modern twist.
What's the modern twist?
Clean. There's so many cobblers out there that are messy shops. Don't have to be messy.
That's
Look at the
good.
lighting in here.
Opportunities, as everyone can do. So I've got the layer of polish on. I'm a bit bored by this, so I'm going to speed it up. I've done that shoe. I find it's a difficult environment to be working in than one we had earlier. This is going to go out on YouTube. I'm in the midst of a film with Police Scotland youth volunteers, and they're going to say no to knife crime on a documentary. No to knife crime, not the sort of knife crime of perhaps if you're carrying a tiny little penknife. But we're now going back to these shoes, and this is coming along. This is coming along really well. I like this piece of kit. I might actually ask if I can buy one of them. These are coming along. This whole notion of footwear and how you look and how you feel in your shoes. I'm 18 stone, 6'4". As I said, the rugby and the running and the radiotherapy. It's really good if you can get footwear that is comfortable at home and walking around the streets. And then you look down at your shoes and you think, yeah, I spent a bit of time cleaning these. I'm going to the harder polish, this polish I've not experienced before. Just putting a tiny bit on here. I'm not doing too much, but I could spend an hour doing this.
Yes.
Happy hours, because it's time to think. It's a bit like tidying drawers, keeping your kit in order, knowing where your kit is. It's calming, especially if you're trying to do lots. Not sure about this business of YouTube and filming. And it's a fun location to come into. The closes of Elgin need to be publicised, and this is one way of publicising them. I want to finish because I need to go on to do some other things before the post office shuts. Notice watch repaired here, £10. The stretching of my shoes, I'm going to take them away and see the inner soles that Kenny found. I haven't done the whole shoe. I like this piece of kit. I wouldn't feel comfortable sitting there.
No.
I feel comfortable turning over the concept. This is the boss, the owner, and I'm the customer. And I like the idea of so that's the beginning. Again, I prefer to have the shoe in my hand and just be able to sit and think. And then action. That's the end of me. That's the end of any filming. let's turn off that whatchamacallit. And
Sorted.
what am I going to go home in?
Yeah.
I'm going to go home.
How's that feel? Oh, you got 1 and 1.
Yeah, I'm trying it out.